Yeah, I use drugs. I can do what I want, bitch. Yeah, I have sex and I don't use protection. It's my hot body. I'll do what I want. I don't go to school and I kill people. Whatever. I'll do what I want. Do what I want.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome. As I said, tonight I am not streaming, so of course I'm streaming. Can't help it. Some things broke today, and they're things that I think are important. Yeah, so we're gonna go over a couple things real quick here. I have a video coming out when I finally get it done. So look out for that. Might be tonight, might be tomorrow, might be next week sometime. Hell, I don't know. But I got a couple things on the docket for tonight. As you could tell by this hum, Biden announced his new White House gun safety office. So that's exciting. We'll see what he has to say about that. Also, there was one hell of an attack on the Russian Black Sea Fleet headquarters today with a British missile, and the United States provided targeting aircraft. Russia's pretty pissed, as they probably should be. So we'll hit that as well. Let's say hello, and we'll get right into it. Fiery, what's up, buddy? Doc Obama, hello. Breaking Florida officials have killed a massive 13-foot alligator after a discovery of a deceased human body. Poor alligator. He's just hungry. We know you're here for us, baby. It's good to know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but might be next year. It might be. I mean, we know me. I hate doing videos. I'd rather do lives. Just why we're here, why don't we start with this real quick? So Ophelia is about to hit the Philadelphia area, kind of the Pennsylvania, Baltimore, New York, that kind of area. It's a tropical storm now, and they said it still might hit hurricane force before it landfalls. It's a rather large storm. If you're on the American East Coast, please, pay attention. Oh, this Cape Fear. That's by way of vacation in North Carolina. It looks very similar to the beach we hang out on. But yeah, so yeah. You'll get some pushback, hopefully. But nasty weather for the I-95 corridor. So this one's rapidly intensifying. It looks like it's gone from tropical depression to a serious storm. So just if you're in the area, use caution. I agree. I agree, Jason. Oh, another thing I wanted to talk about, why I got you here. So the Aloisi Asylum in Westland, Michigan. We've talked about it before. They now have, so it was sold to developers in 2018 for $1. I wish that they would have offered me it for $1. I'd have bought it. Anyways, they now have paranormal tours, and they also have escape rooms. I want to go. Jason J and AP, maybe Raven. We should fucking get together and go down there to Wasteland and do it. That would be so kick-ass to do an escape room in a mental institution. Former mental institution. Let's get it, boys. And Raven. I buy it for $52. I just called you out, AP. Anyways, so I'm gonna play this whole thing straight through. About 26 minutes. There's a lot of clapping and bullshit, but yeah, it's kind of hard to watch. So. Dog mama, that's the point.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please be seated. Good afternoon.
Gross.
So I will start by thanking our President, Joe Biden,
President Potato.
for his long-standing leadership in the fight to save lives from gun violence. I also want to thank my husband, the second gentleman of the United States.
No, you were right the first time.
And the extraordinary members of our administration, the members of Congress, survivors,
I'm down.
advocates,
Anytime.
and
Literally.
our incredible young leaders who raise their voice and demand change. So we are all gathered here today for a simple reason. We agree that in a civil society, the people
Barely.
must
Biden's
be
eyes are
able to
barely open.
shop in a grocery store, walk down the street, or sit peacefully in a classroom and be safe from gun violence. But instead, our nation is being torn apart by the tragedy of it all, and torn apart by the fear and trauma
Nazi fags
from gun violence.
Okay, I'll stop now. I'll let you listen.
Recently, I have met with students on college campuses across our country. And when I'm there, every time I turn to the students and I make a request of them. And what I ask is, please raise your hand if you have had an active shooter drill while you were in elementary or middle school. Every time, a sea of hands goes up. Because in today's world, on the first day of school, students, yes, learn the name of their teacher. Yes, they learn the location of their cubby. And they learn how to quietly hide from an active shooter. In fact, when having this conversation, a student once told me, "I don't like going to fifth period." "Why, honey?" I asked. "Because in fifth period, there's no closet." In our country today, 1 in 5 people has lost a family member to gun violence. Across our nation, every day, about 120 Americans are killed by a gun. And while this violence impacts all communities, it does not do so equally. Black Americans are 10 times more likely to be victims of gun violence and homicide. Latino Americans, twice as likely. And as a former courtroom prosecutor, I will tell you I have personally prosecuted homicide cases. I have seen with my own eyes what a bullet does to the human body. We cannot normalize any of this. These are not simply statistics. These are our children, our brothers and sisters, our mothers and fathers. As a former district attorney, attorney general, and U.S. senator, and now as vice president of the United States, I have grieved with parents who have lost a child. I have comforted children who have been traumatized by losing a parent or a sibling. We owe it to them and to those living in fear to act without delay. And on this issue, we do not have a moment to spare, nor a life to spare. And here's the thing, solutions do exist. It's a false choice to suggest you have to choose between supporting the Second Amendment or passing reasonable gun safety laws. That's a false choice. Yep. President Biden and I believe in the Second Amendment, but we also know common sense solutions are at hand. So I'll close with just a couple points. First, President Biden and I continue to be deeply inspired by the students who are leading this movement. So many of whom are here. And second, in so many ways, we are then propelled by their work, by your work. And being propelled by what you are doing, we are expanding our work. With this new office, we will use the full power of the federal government to strengthen the coalition of survivors and advocates and students and teachers and elected leaders to save lives and fight for the right of all people to be safe from fear and to be able to live a life where they understand that they are supported in that desire and that right. And with that, I will now introduce a national leader on this issue. He was only 15 years old when he joined this movement. He is an organizer, he is an advocate, he is a coalition builder, and he is the first Gen Z member of the United States Congress. Representative Maxwell Ross.
It feels good to be a part of a winning movement. Good afternoon, and thank you, Vice President Harris, for the amazing introduction. It's the honor of a lifetime to be here today as President Biden cements his legacy as one of the fiercest champions of gun violence prevention. President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm Congressman Maxwell Alejandro Frost, proudly representing Central Florida in the House of Representatives. As the youngest member of the United States Congress and first member of Gen Z, I'm often asked what got me involved in this work, and the answer is quite simple. I didn't want to get shot in school. I was 15 years old when a shooter walked into Sandy Hook Elementary School and murdered 20 children and 6 teachers. And like millions of kids, I went to school the next day with anxiety and fear that my life would be taken, my friends' lives would be taken, and my family's life would be taken by senseless gun violence. Right before I was elected to Congress, I served as the National Organizing Director for March for Our Lives, a movement that inspired young people across the nation to demand safe communities. And we came together, Everytown, Brady, Newtown Action Alliance, Gifford, Sandy Hook Promise, Moms Demand Action, Change the Rep, the Community Justice Action Fund, and so many on-the-ground organizations that have been doing this work for decades. It's because of that steadfast, passionate organizing that we are a winning movement. But we're a winning movement doing very difficult work, because the brutal truth is usually when the most people are paying attention to our movement, it's usually coupled with carnage and death. But not today. Today, the country sees us here at the White House with a president who is taking action. My very first bill as a member of Congress was to introduce the Office of Gun Violence Prevention Act of 2023. To bring together a federal coordinated response on this issue. And today, that bill and our ask as a movement will become a reality due to the executive action and leadership of President Biden and Vice President Harris. See, the president understands that this issue, especially for young people, especially for marginalized communities, is a matter of survival. He's a president who's been fearless enough to reject the gun lobby and sign into law the first major federal gun legislation passed in nearly 30 years, the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. And look, this action, that legislation comes from love. From Pulse to Parkland, we fight because we love. From Breonna Taylor to Trayvon Martin, we fight because we love. From Tiana Major, Joaquin Oliver, Jamie Guttenberg, we fight because we love. Because when you love somebody, you want them to live free of gun violence. That is what true freedom is. And President Biden wants that safety and freedom for every American. And if this week has shown us anything, because the White House has been very busy this week, it's that Joe Biden wants to be and is a president that understands the power of young people. A president fighting for the world that we deserve. Today, as this administration announces yet another piece of groundbreaking action in the fight to save lives, I am proud to introduce the President of the United States of America, President Joe Biden.
Except mom and dad. Mom and dad, stand up. I want everybody to see the parents of this proud. You did a heck of a job. Congressman Frost, thank you for the introduction, and you've helped the power movement that's turning a cause into reality. You know, you're the big reason why I'm so optimistic about America's future. So many engaged young people. So many engaged, I remember when I was young. We have something in common. I got elected to the Senate when I was 29 years old. The only difference was he was eligible when he got elected to take office.
Maybe.
Wait 17 days to be eligible. That was 827 years ago, but it was a while. Folks, Vice President Harris, members of the cabinet, so many members of Congress who are here.
As we cackle, as we take your rights away.
You know, one of the members who couldn't be here today is a really important member, Senator Chris Murphy. With Chris, who together with Congressman Frost introduced the bill, created a dedicated gun violence prevention office, and he couldn't be here today. Since the tragedy in Sandy Hook, and I remember being there. I remember that how I met with every one of the parents in it, met with every member, every family member. What I do also remember is that I remember as we were leaving, the state police doing the investigation asked Senator to meet with me, if I could meet with him. And I said, of course I would. And I think there were about 12 to 14 of them. I walked in the room, and two of them started crying. And they said, we need help. We need help. And I looked at them, I said, what can I do? They said, we need psychiatric help. We need help. We need help. Anyone who doesn't think that these kinds of engagements have a permanent effect on young children, in many cases older their entire lives if they've never had a bullet touch them, misunderstands. These are hard and tough cops asking me, could I get them psychiatric help? To all the state and local leaders and advocates from all across the country, and to the survivors and families who are with us today, many of whom Jill and I have gotten to know. By the way, our losses may be different circumstances, but I know events like this are really hard to attend. We want to be here to promote the change. It brings back all the memories as it happened today. I thank you, those of you who are parents, for being here, brothers and sisters for being here. It matters. You have absolute courage. You found purpose in your pain. Because of all of you here today, all across the country, survivors, families, advocates, especially young people who demand our nation do better to protect all, who protested, organized, voted, and ran for office, and yes, marched for their lives. proud to announce the creation of the first ever White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention. First office in the
Great.
Created by executive order, I determined to send a clear message about how important this issue is to me and to the country. It matters. And here's why. After every mass shooting, we hear a simple message. The same message all over the country. I've been to every mass shooting. Do something. Please do something. Do something to prevent the tragedies that leave behind survivors who will always carry the physical and emotional scars. Families will never quite be the same. Communities overwhelmed by grief and trauma. Do something. Do something. My administration has been working relentlessly to do something. To date, my administration has announced dozens of executive actions to reduce gun violence, more than any of my predecessors at this point in their presidencies, and they include everything from cracking down on ghost guns, breaking up gun trafficking, and so much more. And last year, with your help, I signed into law the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, the most significant gun safety law in almost 30 years. It strengthens background checks, expands the use of red flag laws, improves access to mental health services, and so much more. This historic law will save lives. It's a really important first step. And by the way, I was the guy along with a woman in California who once banned assault weapons and mobile magazines. We're going to do it again. We're going to do it again.
My ass you are. My ass you are.
Nazi fags. And the reason to hope, because for so long the conventional wisdom was we'd never get any Republicans to support gun safety legislation. But we did. For the first time in 3 decades, we came together to overcome the relentless opposition from the gun lobby, gun manufacturers, and so many politicians opposing common sense gun legislation. We beat them.
All gun laws are unconstitutional. Come get him, Joe. Come get him.
Bipartisan effort included a majority of responsible gun owners.
Shenny, if you're listening, check your
I'll say it again.
Discord DMs.
It's time again to ban assault weapons high capacity magazines. If you need 80 shots in a magazine, you shouldn't own a gun. Because look, last time we did it, it worked. We also, last time we established universal background checks to require safe storage of firearms. It's time. It's time. Look, while we push for Congress to do more, we're going to centralize, accelerate, and intensify our work to save more lives more quickly. That's why this new White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention is what it's designed to do. It will drive and coordinate a government and a nationwide effort to reduce gun violence in America, and it will be overseen by an incredible vice president who understands this. I will. That's not hyperbole, that's a fact. She's been on the front lines of this her entire career as a prosecutor, as an attorney general, and as a United States Senator. Her deep experience will be invaluable for this office. And Steph, where's Steph Feldman? Steph, I want you to stand up. Steph Feldman. You've been working on this with me since Sandy Hook in 2012. Now, she was 13 years old when she joined me, but in 2012, will serve as director of the office. The office will have 4 primary responsibilities. First, to expedite the implementation of the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act and the executive actions already announced. And I mean it. We're going to fully implement it. Second, coordinate more support for survivors, families, and communities affected by gun violence, including mental health care, financial assistance, the same way FEMA responds to natural disasters. Just right. Same way. We help folks recover and rebuild and all of it. Look, folks, shootings are the ultimate superstar, ripping through communities. Third, identify new executive actions we can take within our legal authority to reduce gun violence. And fourth, expand our coalition of partners in states and cities across America, because we do have partners to get more. We need more state and local help to get these laws passed locally as well. And to strengthen our laws and give us more hope. Folks, to be clear, none of these steps alone is going to solve the entirety of the gun violence.
I got it.
None of it. But together, they will save lives. And it's going to help. It'll help rally the nation with a sense of urgency and seriousness of purpose. Today, guns, I never thought I'd even remotely say this in my whole career. Guns are the #1 killer of children in America. Guns are the #1 killer of children in America, the United States of America. More than car accidents, more than cancer, more than other diseases. In 2023 so far, our country has experienced more than 500 mass shootings and well over 30,000 deaths due to gun violence. This is totally unacceptable. It's not who we are. And we have to act. We have to act now. Let me be very clear. Members of the Congress refuse to act, then we'll need to elect new members of Congress that will act. Democrat or Republican. Look, folks, there comes a point where our voices are so loud, our determination so clear, that our effort can no longer be stopped. We're reaching that point. We've reached that point today, in my view, where the safety of our kids from gun violence is on the ballot. At the end of the day, whether the Democrats or Republicans, we all want our families to be safe. We all want to go to school, houses of worship, grocery stores, gyms, malls, movies, without constant anxiety. We all want our kids to have the freedom to learn how to read and write in school instead of ducking cover, for God's sake. And it matters. So let me close with this. Earlier this summer, I was in Connecticut at a summit on gun safety hosted by Senator Murphy. 4 students impacted by gun violence who are here with us today summoned extraordinary courage and stood and shared their stories on stage. 4 of them. They each came from different backgrounds, different parts of the country, different shootings. But they shared
That's accurate.
a common singular message. And one of them summed up in just a few words, and I quote, "The deadly and traumatic price for inaction." That's what he talked about, the deadly and traumatic price for inaction. They made clear what all of you know too well. That price can no longer be the lives of our children and the people of our country. They spoke for an entire generation of Americans who will not be ignored, will not be shunned, and will not be silenced. And I know progress is hard. I've been at this a long time, but we've done it before. We can do it again. As we're here, I'm here to tell you, to you and Vice President Harris hears you as well. You're right. You're right. We're by your side. And we're never going to get up. You can give up dealing with this problem. We're never going to forget your loved ones. We're never going to get there unless we remember. You know, I know we'll do this because...
As did I, Jacob Castro. I laughed very hard.
Heroes proving that even with heavy hearts, you have unbreakable spirits. In memory of your loved ones, you're building a movement that endures. Above all, you'll never give up on the one thing you must never lose: hope. 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 Jill and I, Kamala and Doug, our entire administration, more determined than ever to carry forward that hope, that inspiration, that light that you continue to give us all. For the lives we have lost, for the lives we can save, we can do this. We just have to keep going. We just have to keep the faith. We just have to remember who we are. Every time I walk out of my grandpa's house up in Strand, he'd yell, "For real. Joey, keep the faith." My grandmother would know, Joey, spread it. Spread it. That's what we have to do. Spread the faith. And remember, remember, I mean this sincerely, we're the United States of America. There is nothing beyond our capacity.
There's a lot beyond our capacity now, Joe.
Ever tried to solve and done together, we haven't succeeded. God bless you all. And God protect our troops. And may God protect our children. Thank you so much.
Distinguished guests, please remain in the Rose Garden as the President and the Vice President depart. Thank you.
Obviously, this kid is just very stunning and brave. I can't say anything about him because he's just very hook. I'm not Alex Jones. I don't have Alex Jones money and don't want to get railroaded in court. So, now I'm going to bring up the name. Other than that, come and take it, Joe. Come and take it, buddy. That's terrifying. Like, we knew it was coming. We knew this wasn't that crazy. We knew this was the plan all the way around. This is not going to happen. It can't. It can't. This is the beginning of the end, and this is where we have to stand up and fight back. Now, one of the interesting things that specific... exactly. I dare you, motherfucker. Come get it. Come get it. So, one of the things you didn't hear in that, because it was cut out just a little bit. And here we go. Listen very carefully in the background.
Many things is proof that despite the naysayers, we can make meaningful progress on dealing with gun violence. Because make no mistake, sit down.
So we got a bunch of Bidens. So that's cute. But yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I 100% agree. So I think it's incredibly dangerous to go stealing guns from people. I will not comply, Joe. And we're not in this together because we come from very different corners. I think so. That's unfair to potatoes and the Irish in extension, because, and people from Idaho, like anybody who's potato adjacent, I'm pretty sure you're putting them down. And there are some good people, I'm sure. Not the Irish. I was talking about the people from Idaho. Let's go, Brandon. So, yeah, absolute bullshit. Absolute bullshit. I don't know how they think this is possible. Or I don't know how this will ever take hold or anything like that. But it's goddamn, like, pray for America, because they're going to be coming harder and harder for this. Harder and harder for this. And we need to put up a fight at this point. This is where it stops. This is where it ends. We can't let them take the guns. So from one bullshit story to another, the United States. We'll watch the video first, and then we'll get into it. That video was the Black Sea Fleet headquarters of the Russian Navy. I completely agree. No, I think we're getting it back, bud. Like, I think the fire's been lit. We just needed to build up a little bit. Hopefully not before it's too late. I don't see it either. I don't see it either. Yes, holy fuck is right. So we're moving on so I don't get canceled. So that is the Russian Black Sea Naval Fleet headquarters. I believe there's 3 boats taken out as well. That's not even the worst part of it. So, as you can see, it was blown up. There were 10 Russian service members, high-ranking service members, killed. They waited specifically until they were having a meeting of the higher-ups in the Russian Navy. I forget the gentleman's name, but it's in a future article that we're going to go through. The cute part is Russia is in Russia. Well, Crimea. So, but yes, Russia. So in Russia, the cute part is, one, it was a British missile. And it was American targeting through various network of airplanes. So the Americans provided the intel, targeted, and it was a British cruise missiles that shot, destroying the building and killing many Russians. So, yeah. So I think this is something that we need to look out at. Unofficial confirmation from sources. Black Sea Fleet Commander Admiral Vitkov Sokolov was killed in today's strike in Sevastopol. Sokolov personally ordered missile strikes on civilian targets in Ukraine. Blah, blah, blah. All this bullshit. It's a Ukrainian source, but so this is, I believe this is in Russian, so we're going to do our best. But Russia, the use of long-range missiles outside the air defense zone will mean full involvement of the U.S. and Great Britain in the conflict and will entail immediate attacks on decision-making centers on the territory of Ukraine. Shoigu referred to the Sevastopol attack. Exactly. Oh, we're going to. I guess. Yeah. NATO and especially the Americans, it was 2 American service planes that, again, both targeted and called in the strike of a British cruise missile, several British cruise missiles. And as we see, Russia thinks that the United States and Britain are fully involved in the war. So,
По нашим данным, руководство вооруженных сил Украины планирует
yeah, this
нанести
isn't.
удары по
Sorry, this one's in Russian, so it's not translated yet. It's fairly new, so. But essentially, he's saying that the United States and Britain have fully involved themselves. Let me look, because I know this. Storm Shadow cruise missiles from a scout platform. There were 10 in total. Well, we'll just read this specific article, but there were Storm Shadow missiles from Scout PG platform. Long-range cruise missiles. So this is before and after pictures, satellite images. So we can see. So there's the building standing, and there's the building after it was attacked. Yep. Oh, we were, but they are now for 100% certainty. So, no people want this, Dazer. Nobody wants this. We'll watch this short Hindustan Times. I think this one is in English. Copyright music, probably. See, that isn't even correct because there's more confirmation to that. Ukraine celebrates attack, claims responsibility. Yeah, it's just music. Well, absolutely. This dipshit's still in the States, by the way. And again, I found that to not be the case. There were when missile fire by Ukraine hit the Black Sea Fleet. The Brits haven't claimed it, but they used their missiles. There's no question on that. Several were given to Ukraine as part of an arms deal. However, Ukraine didn't have the targeting. One, they weren't supposed to be used to attack Russian targets inside of Russia, only for defense. Two, they don't have the capability to hit a target like this. So I saw that. Well, there's missile defense systems. So we'll get through the article here. 10, I believe, is the current number. Did they have warnings? No. They were having a meeting of high-level officials for future Russian Navy plans. So it was very deliberate. Timing was very deliberate for the most casualties, high-value targets. Exactly. They can't target without our shit. So no, you're totally fine. But yeah, they couldn't target it, and they wouldn't have been able to hit a target without United States involvement for the planes and Britain's involvement for the missiles. So they don't possess those capabilities. Ukraine used British cruise missiles in attack on Russian Navy base in Sevastopol. Why does that say? They got their days wrong, but with the latest provocation, the UK and NATO have officially declared war on Russia, all but officially declared war on Russia, although they will deny it's an act of war. They have their days, fucky, but because it should have been Thursday. Ukraine has said it seriously damaged 2 Russian naval vessels and struck port infrastructure in the Crimean city of Sevastopol early on Wednesday. The recent long-range missile attack by Ukraine on the home of Russia's Black Sea Fleet will likely not change the course of the conflict, nor will it force to the negotiating table and bring the war to the end. Quite the opposite. In fact, it will move Russia to retaliate against more high-value military targets and extend their security perimeter even further. Is Britain attempting to provoke a larger Third World War? This week's major Ukrainian attack on Russian port of Sevastopol in Crimea was the largest strike on a Russian naval target since the war start. Yeah, it was way too precise to be luck or chance. They had help. Significantly, the UK Sky News has confirmed that British supplied long-range missiles were used in the overnight. See, they have their dates all wrong because this just happened. So that's probably an error. Submarine warship, a Ukrainian Western source said that British Storm Shadow cruise missiles were deployed. Kremlin sources. Yeah, I know. Kremlin sources counted 10 cruise missiles fired against the Black Sea naval port and claimed anti-air defenses downed 7 of these. An additional attack by unmanned boats was thwarted 2. So a statement said, so It's Blanca-side boats. Storm Shadow missiles were supplied to Ukraine after the approval to supply these was announced earlier this year from London on May 11. The missiles have a range of 155 miles, making them among the longest range weapons in Ukraine's arsenal, and are fired from aircraft. That very well could be, but those dates are incorrect, certainly. See, they have a bunch of them. Storm Shadow missiles were supplied to Ukraine after... Oh, I read that. Statement officially points in that direction, blah, blah, blah. Likely these projectiles were launched from a Ukrainian aircraft, or a British one. Such future attack could be more devastating, and when Western partners hand over F-16s after training Ukrainian pilots is complete. That's true. They don't even have... Huh. Right, because they don't have... Yeah, but these are the 13th. But that's not correct. Oops. Shit. What did I click on? Yeah. Oh, I clicked on something. So, likely projectiles were launched. Oh, I said that. But they don't have the jet infrastructure. So. But this is just a bunch of other ads and shit. So, yeah, not good. And coward ass Zelensky did it while he was over there. So that's always cute. Here, you want to watch one more thing? Yeah, they fucked up the 1 and the 2. Yep. So. Here, we'll watch this one too. This is Zelensky's comment to the Americans.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you for all these 575 days. Yes, and thanks to American people. All these days they are together with us, with Ukrainians, with ordinary people, all of us. Thank you so much. Thanks you, your team, Congress, and thanks journalists for all your messages to your society and to the world that you share the truth about this tragedy, aggression from Russia. Thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you.
So that's what he has to say about it. Yeah, so they just messed up the 2 and the 3 because this is the 22nd. So this is when it actually happened. Kazan, Russia, powerful explosions. Yeah, this isn't good. This is not good. And we'll see who ended up getting eliminated in this. But Russia's had enough. And I mean, can you even blame him at this point? Seriously. I mean, he's fighting a war with one hand tied behind his back. The US says we're not involved and he can't do anything. And it just continues to go further and further. It's I don't know, man. We certainly need to... I believe that we will very, very shortly be at war. Josh, you might want to go back and watch this one again, bud. I went a little bit early. There's some important information. But Biden's taken our guns, and the United States helped Britain strike. Yes. They used an F-16, which they don't have. So explain that one to me. They don't have F-16s, but they used an F-16 to launch a British missile using American targeting. Right? world. I think we're certainly. I've been saying mid-November. I've been saying mid-November. I don't like to give dates. I don't like to do that shit because, fuck, I'm just a guy on the internet. I don't know shit. But my feeling since the beginning has been mid-November. So nothing has changed. So, yeah. But if anything else changes, I will certainly let you know. That's what I'm concerned about. There comes a point where Putin's had enough. Now it's his pipeline, his bridge, his high-ranking generals, most of his naval fleet. I don't know. Oh, did they? Okay. I didn't know they had shown up yet. Yeah, that's about. I mean, you're a little bit sooner than me. Yep. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, you're an asshole on it. I was like, wait, what? God, I hope not. But I didn't know they had arrived yet. I thought they were still in progress of because we were supposed to send them. I believe we were supposed to send them F-35s in exchange, right? Either way, we have incredibly heavy involvement. And to think that new pilots on F-16s are going to be able to target cruise missiles like that accurate? I don't know, D's. Yeah, there's a couple dates. October or September 23rd is one that I keep seeing get thrown around. Again, I'm not a big dates guy. I think if we knew, then somebody should fucking tell us. I've also seen October 4th, and I know there's a nationwide alert going out on October 4th. So both of those days have been mentioned numerous times. So exactly, who leaked it? They said in August they will send F-16 when pilots are satisfactorily trained. That's what I thought. But I wasn't sure, and these is usually pretty dead on. So yeah. No, that's true. That's true. I think that if it wasn't directly flown, it was heavily influenced by either the United States or the British. I'm roll fucking Ukraine and pound them into the dirt. I don't give a shit. We've spent too much money, and I'm kind of tired of it. You're dragging us in. You're pulling this bullshit, and I don't like it. I appreciate it, buddy. Let me know, but I will keep you all updated for certain. I'm gonna try and go. Exactly. That's my thought. I think that the likelihood is that it would be a British pilot. I don't know that. Maybe it was but yeah. just keep your eyes open, guys. If I see anything else on it, I will certainly let you know. I'll do my best to keep informed about it, because me and a couple people that I know are watching it very heavily. Because I think shit's about to break off. Yeah. Gross. Yeah, that's gonna happen. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, keep your heads up, keep your eyes open, and I'll let you know if anything breaks. Shenny will be starting game night in about 30 minutes. If you want to come over there, laugh, have a good time, have some fun, I will pop in at some point. Got a couple things to do, including finish this video that I've been working on all day. Off and on. But yeah, that's about it for me. Sea of Thieves tomorrow as normal, and then we'll get into some fun stuff. So thank you all for watching. I will catch you very soon. Stay safe and take care.